Sean. Welcome back to Club Fed True Stories. Got another episode on what to ask your lawyer. So this is episode 3, pre-sentence report. So if you don't know, I did 52 months for wire fraud at a federal prison camp in Florence, Colorado. I make these videos for guys facing federal prison time going to camps. Lowe's too. Lowe's are just like a camp, except they got a fence. They do have child molesters at the Lowe's. No child molesters at the camps. No fences at the camps. That's probably the main difference. If you're looking for a prison channel on, tattoo guns and how to make a shank and, you know, turned out, that's other prison channels. This is more for your nonviolent criminals or drug dealers or white collar crimes, guys like that. So pre-sentence report, it's called a PSR. Sometimes it's called a PSI, pre-sentence investigation, pre-sentence investigative report, or pre-sentence report, PSI or PSR. You're going to hear all those things. Let me show you a sample of one. Okay, so this is what you want to ask. So this is a pre-sentence interview form. So it's about 33 pages long. You'll know it when you get it because you have to fill this out. My court-appointed lawyer did not use a paid lawyer. I used a court lawyer that they appointed for me because I didn't have any money because the government froze all my bank accounts and I was kind of homeless anyways when they caught me. Long story short, so don't waste your money on a fancy $100,000 lawyer, guys. The public defenders in the federal system do a very good job. Okay, There's not a lot of deals to be made in the federal court system. I tell you guys that time and time again, and you can ask other people in the comments. Most of them will tell you the same thing. There are some good lawyers in the federal justice system that do cost 100 grand. I even heard of some that cost 10 or 20 grand that work very hard, but you can save your money and get the same from a federal public appointed lawyer. Anyways, in your PSR form, it's your life history. Basic here, they're asking your date of birth and address and all that. Your height, they want to know scars. They want to know all the places you've ever lived. Here, your residential history. Man, I've moved so many times. I think I've lived in 20 different little towns and places all over California. They want to know if you had any firearms. It's even saying identify all the pets located in your residence. With whom and where you were you living at the time of offense. Of the people you currently live with, have any of them been convicted of a crime? If yes, list them. Your family and your social history. They want to know all that stuff. Questions: family history. Describe who raised you and where you were raised. What were your basic material needs met? Because I was kind of raised by a very dysfunctional family. Father was an alcoholic, wife beater, child beater, all that stuff. Mom was a drunk. We were very poor. I lived with my mom. And anyways, we were on welfare and all that stuff. And they want to know all that. Does it help your case? I'm not sure. It explains sometimes why you did the crime. But they're going to ask you all kinds of. Describe any significant traumatic events in your childhood. Kind of I just did, but I mean they want you to go into detail. How do you spend your leisure time? Things like that. What community or charitable organizations are you currently involved in? That's one you really want to fill out. If you can go feed the homeless, if you can do anything, volunteer at hospitals, if you know what I mean, that all helps your case. The judge in the federal system actually is the one who's going to decide how much time you got. He's got certain guidelines he's got to go by, but he can go above them or below them, and they often do. In the state judicial system, they don't. They usually will listen to the DA or the public or the prosecutor, not in the feds. My lawyer gave me 52 months. The prosecutor wanted 60 months. And I had fed the homeless and did volunteer stuff in AA and things like that. And it looked good. And I did a drug program. And anyways, so I got 8 free months for, Actually, they went down from category 4 to category 1, so I actually got a couple of years off my sentence for changing my life before I went to prison. So just question after question like that, guys. Your marital status here. Describe the reasons why your previous relationships ended. See, they're going to get real personal. They want to know about your job history, your criminal history, what plans have your family made in the event that you are incarcerated. So they want to know all that. Like, you got a sick grandmother that's 80 years old that you take care of? Do you have a kid that's, needs attention? Do you have a newborn, and there's nobody to watch your baby if you go to prison? All that stuff can help. They want you to list your children. Describe any contact with child protection services. See, they're going to get personal. And then they get into your health. And they want to know all your health background. And now with the virus going around and stuff, this might actually help you maybe get some home confinement time instead of all prison time. But chances are you're still going to do prison time even if you get home confinement. It might be a little less prison time, but you're still making people go. And then here they want to know all your gambling addictions. And there's a section here for your drug and alcohol, substance abuse. Let me see if you guys can see this here. Let me scroll this up here. Your substance abuse. That's the one that'll get you in the RDAP. So this is very important, guys. You tell your lawyer you have a drug problem, you have an alcohol problem. It could just be weed. And don't lie. I'm assuming you guys do. 90% of all crimes, usually somebody's got drinking or alcohol or drug problem. This will get you up to a year off in RDAP and 6 months halfway house time. So altogether, I got 18 months taken out of the camp that I didn't have to do. But you have to fill this out. It's got to be filled out here, because even if the judge recommends RDAP, when you get to the camp or the low or whatever, the person who runs RDAP is called an RDAP coordinator. And they don't care what the judge recommends, because mine was a Dr. Coulter Rodriguez, and I've called her on the phone since I got out. Great lady, but I remember she'll tell you, I don't give a fuck what the judge says. This is my program. I run it, and I decide if you're qualified to get in, not the judge. Okay, so that's great that you got the judge to recommend it. But once you get sentenced at that courtroom, you are BOP property. Okay, the Bureau of Prisons owns you, not the pretrial anymore. Not the you're in the Department of Justice. They've done their job. They've sentenced you. You're gone. So they can recommend all day long that you go to RDAP, but that's not going to get you in. I'm sorry, that's not going to get you in. This section here will get you in. This substance abuse. It's got a section for alcohol, heroin, marijuana, synthetic drugs, opium, cocaine, hallucinogens, crack, inhalants, amphetamine, prescription drugs. A lot of you guys are doing prescription drugs. Fill that part out. Go over with your lawyer. Hopefully your lawyer knows that this section needs to be filled out, because you might have some of those lawyers, what are they going to tell me? You got a drug problem, but give me more time. Don't be scared. They know everything about you. Even if you lie on this whole report, they still know everything about you. They're going to check it and make sure it matches what they know about you. Man, they're the federal government. They know what's going on with your little ass. And then there's more, what was your drug of choice? And it's got a whole bunch of questions. How often did you use it? Did you hide it from other people? Did other people know you used it? Did it affect your job? Did it affect all this stuff? You fill all that out. And then there's more about your education. If you left school before graduating, why? They're going to ask you all kinds of personal questions. So this is your PSR form. And it goes on and on and on and on. More employment questions. I'm only at page 15, guys. Criminal history. Just when you thought, I thought I filled out the criminal history on the first 8 pages. No, now they're getting more detail. So I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So that's called a PSR or a PSI or a pre-sentence report or a pre-sentence incident investigative report. Anyway, you want the time off from RDAP, make sure you fill out that substance abuse section. Okay? Ask your lawyer about the PSR. Ask your lawyer about filling out that section there, and tell him you want to look at over before it's turned into the judge. And usually the special probation officer, you're not on probation yet, but a special probation officer from that department sits down with you and goes over it. You're supposed to be able to read it before you sign it, and before it's approved or for probation and given to the judge. You make sure you tell your lawyer all that stuff. Okay, guys. So thanks for watching the videos. Please subscribe. Please hit like. Hit that all bell notification. I got a Patreon club now, so you could call me, ask me questions and stuff, and I can always tell you some secret stuff that I can't tell you on YouTube about what really goes on in Club Fed. It's not a whole lot, but some things we just can't talk about on YouTube because Anyways, yeah. So that's it. I'll make a next video.